All right, first macro, pull over. This is the West Coast State Police Department. Pull over your vehicle and turn off your engine. Turn your hazards on and keep your hands on the steering wheel. You use this macro when you're pulling over a vehicle. You're trying to make a traffic stop. You don't only just drop the macro, you also instruct the driver to pull over with your verbal voice. Second, taser, taser, taser. When do you use this macro? You use this macro when you are tasing a suspect on foot only. Before you tase the suspect, you have to drop the taser macro and tase the suspect. Third macro, taser, taser, taser. Breaks the window, tases the civilian, and pulls them out of the vehicle. You use this macro when you are tasing a suspect in a car refusing to leave the car, or he's trying to run away from you. It is very important to know exactly when to use those two macros. Taser, 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 which is this one, you use it when a suspect is on foot. The second one, which is breaks the window and tases the civilian and pulls them out of the vehicle, you use it when the suspect is in the vehicle and he's trying to run away from you. If you get shot and you want to return fire, you have to drop your macro shoots at armed suspect's vehicle to protect civilian and fellow officer and self. Use this macro to shoot back at a suspect that is shooting at you or your partner or another civilian. You have to use that macro before conducting that shooting. The introductory macro, which is hello, my name is Lieutenant General John Wick. I'm a West Coast State Police Officer, badge number 727. Use this macro when you are introducing yourself to a civilian that you're trying to talk to or even a suspect that you are arresting. You drop that macro for them to know who you are. You're a police officer. They have to know who is talking to them. Then you have the Miranda rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say or do will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you. Do you understand your rights? You have to drop this macro for the suspect that you are arresting. Not only do you drop the macro, you also read it for them. We have to hear it that you are saying it to the suspect. If it's a female suspect, you pat the female suspect with the back of your hands and remove all items from the person. If it's a male suspect, you use this macro, pats down suspect, and removes all items and weapon from the suspect. Then you tell them what they are being arrested for. You drop the macro, what they are being arrested for. For example, they're being arrested for state charges. You type it in a white chat. Charges, just like this.
Yep, no worries.
If they are being charged with a different violation, then you type that violation in the chat. For example, if it's 1.7, this is how you do it. So that way they know exactly what you're talking about and what you're charging them for. So we go back to this, the proper arrest and procedure. First, you introduce yourself. Second, you read them their Miranda rights. If it's a female suspect, you pat the female suspect down like this. If it's a male suspect, you pat the male suspect down like this. Then you're telling them what they are being arrested for. Then you drop the charges in the white chat for them. You have to always read them their Miranda rights. Not only you drop the macro, you have to read it for them too. Then we come to the 1012, which is active ride along. What it means that you're active ride along with another officer. You're conducting your duty as a police officer. Those two macros, they go hand in hand with each other. You're confirming your body cam, which is NRP. Your screen recording is on. Then you drop this macro, active ride along with another officer. Anytime you leave the department and you're doing your police duty, you have to drop both macros together. Code 4, what does it stand for? Scene clear. It means the scene is clear. After you went for a call or a backup call or a shootout and you already handled that situation in that area, you're done with it, you drop the macro code 4, scene clear, for other officer to know that that area is clear. No longer any officer needed in that area. Code 3, lights and siren, means that you have the lights on and you are rushing to a call or anything that could have been wanted for. Backup call, could be a shootout, shots fired, an officer down, you put that and you rush to that location. 10-4 is very self-explanatory. 10-4 means copy, means your understanding. If someone gave you an instruction, you reply back with 10-4 copy, something like that. 10-6, currently busy. Very important macro. When do you use this macro? You use this macro when you are doing something personal, something not police duty. You drop that macro, that way you're telling them you are doing something personal, you're going to do a job, you're going to take care of one of your businesses, you're going on one of the admin events, NRP, or doing something that is not police duty. You drop that macro before you go. Now, with that being said, you cannot take a police vehicle and do your personal things. You take your personal car and you do your personal thing. If caught, you will be sanctioned. With that being said, also, you cannot use your personal vehicle to do any police duty. If your your car despawned or something happened to it, you cannot bring a suspect back to PD and use your personal vehicle. It has to be a police car. 10-7 out of service. NRP means you're logging off. You're no longer in service. You drop that macro when you're done and you're out. You're about to leave and close the game. 10-8 in service. It's the opposite of out of service. As soon as you log in and you are ready for your police duty, you drop that macro. You're telling other officers that you're ready for any call or backups or anything. 10-10 fight in progress. That means there's a fight going on. It's happening. It is still happening. There could be two civilians fighting with each other. There could be you and another person that you are fighting, fist fighting, or anything. You drop that macro to let us know there is a fight in progress. 10-11 traffic stop. When you're conducting a traffic stop, you need to drop the macro 10-11 traffic stop to let us know that you're conducting a traffic stop. You're going to see a response right away from another officer. What is your 1020 location? They're going to drop that macro and you're going to have to type it in the lobby chat, your location, for other officer to know where you at so they can help you in case of emergency or something happened to you. 10-13 shots fired. Shots could be fired at you. They could be fired at your partner. They could be fired at another civilian. They could even be fired in the air. Any shots fired, you drop 10-13. Shots are fired, so other officer can respond. They're also going to ask you for the location right after when you do that. 10-15 suspect in custody en route to PD. You drop that macro when you have the suspect in a vehicle, in a cruiser, and you're heading back to PD. You drop that macro to let us know that you have a suspect in the car and you're coming back to PD. And as soon as you have that suspect in the car, right away it comes with another macro to tell us that the scene is clear. Code 4. You drop the scene clear, code 4 right after it. And that's how it goes. Now we come to the 10-20 location. You're going to hear that a lot in the radio. They're going to be, Officer Bronson, what is your 20? What they mean about it, it is what is your location.
Help is on the way, dear.
So when
Help
they
is
ask
on the
you,
way, dear.
so that's what's going to happen. 10-22 disregard. Let's say, for example, your hand NRP slipped and you hit on shots fired by mistake and you want other officer to disregard your last call. You drop the 10-22 for other officer to disregard your last call. 10-23 arrived on scene. It means you arrived on a scene and you're about to conduct whatever you need to do in that area. You're letting other officers that you're already there and you're handling the situation. 10-26 suspect detained. Pay attention. Suspect is detained, not being arrested. For example, that suspect lied to you and told you, Officer Bronson, there's someone is shooting me out there, but nobody was actually shooting him. And you don't know if that person is guilty or not, so you detain him, you put him in cuffs, you're detaining him for further investigation until you know what's going on with that person. 10-27 and 10-29 ID checks and warrant check. You drop that macro when you are checking on somebody to make sure if they are wanted or they need something. A dispatch is going to respond right back to you with the name like this. When they do that, you're gonna have to type that person name in the lobby chat so they can check and see if that person is wanted or not. So you have to type that person name so they can check for you if that person is wanted or not. Let's say that person came up wanted. Dispatch is gonna respond back right with 1030. That suspect is wanted, so you're gonna have to cuff that person and put him in handcuffs. When they send you that, before you make an arrest, you're gonna tell him, you're gonna drop that macro. You have a warrant for your arrest, no sudden movements. If the suspect is in a vehicle and you want him to leave the vehicle before you make an arrest, you're gonna drop this macro. Then right after, you're gonna tell him you have a warrant for your arrest, no sudden movements, and that's how you make it. All right. Next one is gonna be 1032. Backup needed. When you need a backup and it's overwhelming for you as a one officer, there's probably 3 suspects trying to shoot you, and you can't handle it just by yourself. You're gonna request backup. When you drop 1032, you are requesting for backup to come and grab you. We come to 1041, requesting inmate transportation. When you use this macro, like I told you, as a police officer, you cannot use your personal vehicle to come back to PD with a suspect. It has to be a police vehicle. So, for example, NRP, you went out there with your cruiser, and for some reason your car despawned, or somebody stole your car, they hit it, and you can't find it anymore, and you got a suspect that you arrested that you want to bring back. So what you do, you drop this macro, 1041, requesting inmate transportation for another officer to come and assist you and grab that suspect with you and bring you back to PD. All right, 1047, shootout in progress. When there's an active shooting happening, it could be between 2 people shooting each other or a shootout that is happening to you as well. You drop that shootout in progress, 1047, to let us know there's a shootout happening. 1057, hit and run. For example, you're going on your vehicle cruiser on the highway, and one of the civilians just hit your car and started fleeing the scene. You drop that macro 1057, that is hit and run. Or you see another civilian hitting another civilian's car and start running away. That is also a hit and run. You drop that macro. 1060, armed suspect. What it means that there's multiple suspects with they're armed and they have their guns out. Us as a one state, we are not an open carry state. Anybody you see with their weapons out, you instruct them to put their weapon away. If they don't, you charge them with 1.9 and 3.2. How you do that though? First, you drop this macro to make sure that you give them the proper warning. Put the weapon away now or force will be used. This is the West Coast PD. After that, you give them the proper benefit of the doubt, 5 seconds, and you type it in the chat this way. I'm gonna show you. As soon as you do that, and that suspect still got their guns out, you have the right to arrest that suspect for 1.9 and 3.2. 1.9 is discharging a weapon in a public area. 3.2, disobeying a police officer order. But again, make sure you give that person the proper benefit of the doubt that they might put their guns away. If they don't, then go ahead and proceed with the arrest. 1080, in pursuit. When you are in pursuit of a car, you drop the 1080 to let other officers that you're in pursuit of that car, so other officer can come and assist you. They also gonna ask you for your 20, which is your 1020, which is your location, so they can come and assist you. 1097, en route. When you're en route to an area, you're going to an area, you let other officer that you're en route and you're going about to take care of that problem or whatever that place is. 10-100, officer down. This means an officer went down on the field while conducting the duty. It could be your partner, it could be you, it could be any officer that died in the field. You drop that macro 10-100 to let other officers that know that there's an officer down. Even when you die, NRP, and you respawn here in PD, you gotta drop that macro after you died and let us know that where your location was. 3237, let's say you made an arrest and that suspect goes to you, Bronson. I think you put the wrong charges on me. I think you did it wrong. I think you didn't pat me down. I think it's all total of fail RP. I need to see a supervisor. If you need a supervisor, you drop this macro 3237, supervisor needed, for another supervisor to come and assist you with whatever you need out there. Step out of the vehicle with your hands up. Don't run or reach for anything, or force will be used. Use this one to instruct a person to leave their vehicle. Most likely, you're about to arrest that suspect, so they don't leave out of the area. After that, you have hand citation for civilian to sign. Now, when you're handing a civilian citation, when you're making a traffic stop, they have to sign your citation. How they sign the citation if they don't know how to sign it? You tell them to do slash, then they do space and sign. Like that. They have to sign it just the way I showed you right here for a proper role play to go in place. Now, with that being said, where did we end up? After that, let's say you made a wanted mission and you have to let that person, when you find them, that they have a warrant for their arrest and no sudden movements needs to be in there. So you drop that macro, then you conduct your arrest and let them know they are being charged with the state charges. Anytime you have a person that you want to conduct an arrest and he's standing still, you drop that macro to let them know that they're being under arrest. This macro you're going to use a lot. Put the weapon away now or force will be used. Like I told you, anytime you see a suspect with their guns out, you put this macro, you give them the proper countdown, you give them the benefit of the doubt before you make an arrest. If they still refuse, you charge them with 1.9 and 3.2. Shut the car off, drop the keys out of the window for me, please. Very self-explanatory. You're instructing that person to shut their car off, drop their keys so they don't run away from you. And you drop that macro to let them know about that. This macro is very, very, very important. You're going to use this macro a lot, but it is good to know where to use it, when to use it, and how to use it. Use this macro only in the green zone areas. Only green zone areas. Areas like PD, areas like HP, areas like hands, but you do the same thing like how you put the weapon away. You have to give them the proper benefit of the doubt of leaving the area. You drop that macro, then they give them a countdown of 5 seconds. They still haven't left, then you make an arrest and you charge them with 1.7 and 3.2. Now, in the case of scenario in hands, yes, it is a green zone, but people could be selling their cars there. You cannot just tell them to leave the area. Now, if you find a people just standing there talking, chit-chatting with their friends, they're not allowed to be there. They have to leave unless they're selling their car.
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right. So unless they're selling their cars in the hands, that's the only time you let them stay in hands. Other than that, if they're just standing there, not saying it, like chilling and just talking, chit-chatting, they cannot stand in that area.